She sacrificed everything for her children, but they never knew the secret she was hiding. In a quiet town where the roads were dusty and the nights were long, lived a woman named Amara. To most people, she was just another struggling mother, thin, always tired, but somehow still smiling. Every morning before the sun rose, Amara was already awake. She would light a small kerosene lamp, boil water, and prepare a simple meal, usually just pap or leftover rice. Her two children, Daniel and Sade, never complained. They had grown used to managing. "Mama, aren't you eating?" Sade would often ask. Amara would smile softly. "I already ate earlier. This one is for you." But that was never true. She always waited for them to finish, scraping whatever remained from the pot, sometimes nothing at all.
Still, every day she sent them to school neatly dressed. Their uniforms were always clean, even if they were patched in places. "Education is your way out," she would say. "No matter what happens, never stop learning." But what Daniel and Sade didn't understand was how heavy those words were and how much they were costing her. Amara worked 3 jobs. In the morning, she washed clothes for families in the neighbourhood. Her hands were always wrinkled, sometimes bleeding from harsh detergents. By afternoon, she sold roasted corn by the roadside, standing under the hot sun for hours. At night, when most people slept, she would sit under that same dim lamp, sewing torn clothes for extra money.
Sometimes she would pause, holding her chest, breathing slowly like the pain came in waves, but she never let her children see. One evening, Daniel returned home earlier than usual. "Mama?" he called. No response. He walked into her small room, and there she was, sitting on the edge of the bed, clutching a piece of paper. Her eyes were filled with tears she was trying so hard to hide. "Mama, what's wrong?" he asked, stepping closer. Amara quickly wiped her face. "It's nothing, just tired." But Daniel wasn't convinced. That night, as his mother slept, he quietly searched the room. And then he found it. A folded hospital report, hidden beneath her mattress.
He opened it. At first, he didn't understand the medical terms, but one word stood out clearly: cancer. His hands began to shake. There were notes written at the bottom. Condition worsening. Immediate treatment required. And then another line that made his heart stop. Patient declined treatment due to financial constraints. Daniel's chest tightened. All this time, while they complained about small things, while they asked for snacks, new shoes, better food, their mother was dying. And she chose them instead of herself. The next morning, Daniel couldn't look at her the same way. Every movement she made suddenly felt heavier, every smile more painful. "Mama, you should rest today," he said softly. Amara laughed. "If I rest, who will feed you?" But Daniel knew the truth now, and it broke him. Days turned into weeks. Amara grew weaker. She coughed more often now. Sometimes she had to sit down just to catch her breath. But still, she refused to stop working. One afternoon, under the scorching sun, she collapsed by her corn stand. People rushed to her aid, and she was taken home. That night, Daniel and Sade sat beside her. For the first time, Amara looked afraid. Not for herself, but for them.
"Listen to me," she said weakly. "No matter what happens, you must stay together." "Mama, don't say that," Sade cried. "You're not going anywhere." Amara smiled faintly. "I didn't want you to know. I didn't want you to worry." Daniel held her hand tightly. "Why didn't you tell us? We could have helped." Amara shook her head gently. "You were my reason to keep going, not my burden to carry my pain." Tears rolled down Daniel's face. "All those times you said you had eaten." Amara smiled again, but this time it was filled with truth. "A mother's hunger is different," she whispered. "When her children are full, she is satisfied."
That night was quiet, too quiet, the kind of silence that feels heavy, like the world is holding its breath. And by morning, Amara was gone. The house felt empty in a way Daniel and Sade had never known. No soft footsteps in the morning, no gentle voice reminding them to study, no quiet sacrifices hidden behind smiles. Just silence. Weeks later, Daniel returned to that same hospital. This time, not as a confused boy, but as someone carrying the weight of truth. He spoke to the doctor who had seen his mother. She refused treatment, the doctor said sadly. She said the money should go to her children's education instead.
Daniel closed his eyes. Everything she had done, every sacrifice, every pain she endured, was all for them. Years passed. Daniel worked hard, harder than he ever thought possible. Sade followed in his footsteps. They never forgot. Not the hunger, not the struggle, and certainly not the secret. One day, standing in front of a newly built home, Daniel held a small framed photo of his mother. "We made it, Mama," he whispered. "But it cost you everything." The truth is, love doesn't always speak loudly. Sometimes it hides in empty plates, in sleepless nights, in silent suffering. Amara didn't just raise her children. She gave them her life, piece by piece, until there was nothing left. And the painful lesson they learned too late was this: never wait until it's gone to appreciate the love that's been holding you all along.